I think what I want to do is just welcome all of you to this space. Pat, Lynn, and I we're just talking about how important these meetings are for us. It's just a place where we can come and just be ourselves and take a deep breath and be in the presence of one another. And just so grateful to be doing it with such beautiful souls, such beautiful people, and devoting our Sundays, creating that sacred space on a Sunday for one another and for these conversations. So I want to just thank you for being here and honoring your presence today. We are going to go ahead and start with Lynn, with my mom. She is going to begin reading a poem or actually a narrative today that she again co-constructed, which was from our last session. And Mom, I'm going to ask you if you don't mind just providing, before you get into it, providing the same context of what you were saying regarding the connection between the title or the burden of light, that title, with what Marianne Williamson said, because I think that'll help to kind of anchor the direction that we're going today with our conversation.
Of course. Okay, good morning, everyone. What a delight to just be here with all of you. It's such a wonderful centering for me. Last month, when we gathered together for our conversation, which was conversation number 7, we began with the word becoming, and we had the parentheses after the word becoming, but we had it blank. And it was during the session that I think collectively came up with the decision that the word that needed to be inside the parentheses was the word story. And we had left it blank purposefully because it was the beginning of the year, and we wanted to begin the year with a collective decision as to what to put in the parentheses. And it was based, and a lot of the reason for it was that Pat told the story of Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee and how they had the responsibility of carrying the ring. And as I'm listening to the story, I'm thinking the ring is light. They had to protect that light. They had to protect that ring. They had to make sure that no one took it away from them. And they had to journey forth into areas that they had never gone before, protecting this ring. And it made me think that how fragile and how frightening sometimes light can be, because it needs to be protected. And it made me also, as Pat's telling the story, and as I'm thinking about the word light, it also reminded me of a quotation that I was very familiar with by Marianne Williamson. And this is it's part of a much larger quotation, but the quotation reads, "It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us." And when I wrote the narrative for today, and I'm calling it more of a narrative because it just happened to naturally flow that way, it reminded me of the story that Pat was telling about the two, about Frodo and Samwise. So here we go. Like Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee, I'm going to read it from here, I'm sorry. We venture forth with a pure and stout heart into the unknown, carrying with us the burden of light. Light is our responsibility, a heavy weight at times, more so than that of darkness, which too can seem unbearable. but it is the light that weighs us down. For it is our fear of stepping out with our light, of exposing it to the ridicule of the world, that causes the darknesses of rejection, of separation, of stagnation. We have been given this gift of light to penetrate the muddle, the uncertainties, the doubts, the falsehoods. We cannot rely on someone else's light, for it is our own dilemmas and challenges that must be illuminated. Once we are comfortable in our own bones with our light, we have a duty to share it with others, not for imitation's sake, but for the encouragement to abandon that deeply embedded hesitation that prevents us from being our authentic selves. So thank you, Pat, for the story of Frodo and Samwise. It helped me help me understand what light really is and what darkness is. And it's a process of I'm still learning. What does light really mean? What does darkness really mean? And I called this the burden of light, because we're responsible for sharing that with others. And that's a very difficult thing to do. It's a heavy burden to do that. Okay.
Yeah, that was really profound, Lynn. Very profound. Thank you for that.
Well, it's everyone's collective ideas that are profound that go into this. So, yeah.
Whew. That was intense, Mom. I'm really feeling the good heaviness of that. Like, a lot of it resonated with me and felt very true. Really, really needed to hear. I needed to hear that today. So thank you, Mommy.